The really big news yesterday in football came from college, where number 9 Wisconsin has canceled the game Saturday against Nebraska and paused all team-related activities for at least 7 days because of COVID. 6 players, 6 staff members, including the head coach, have tested positive.
We just felt it was important if we wanted to continue to play for the year to make this move right now and control the virus. Your natural tendency is, let's get back on the field and get right back at it. But that's where, you have to put priorities in order and make sure that our number one concern is health and safety of our athletes.
We were wanting the opportunity, and our players were wanting the opportunity to play. And then to not have that opportunity, that's where there's a disappointment.
All right, Heather Dinich, our insider, and Paul Finebaum rejoin me here. Heather, we spoke earlier this morning, for those just joining us, and you explained how in the Big Ten the protocol is that if a player tests positive, he can't come back and play for 21 days. And we explained that these games are not being postponed. Wisconsin and Nebraska has now been canceled. It won't be played. So, from the people you've talked to, how will that impact the Big Ten, the potential Big Ten championship, and maybe more importantly, how will it impact the Big Ten's chances of getting a team into the college football playoff?
Well, Greeny, the Big Ten recently released its guidelines for qualifying for the Big Ten Conference Championship game. And as it stands right now, if every team in the conference plays an average of 8 games, teams have to play 6 games in order to qualify for the conference championship game. Now, if teams play fewer than 8 games and that number drops, the average number drops, so does the benchmark. So, for example, if the teams in the Big Ten play 7 games, then you've got to play 5 games. It's no fewer than 2 under the average of Big Ten games played. Now, that being said, the college football playoff does not have a benchmark for a minimum number of games to be played in order to qualify for a semifinal. Does that mean that they would put in a 2-0 team? Probably not. Would they put in a 5-0 team? Maybe they would.
That is where I wanted to go with you, Mr. Finebaum, because you said earlier on the show, at the end of the day, all this is about Ohio State. We get it. There are other Big Ten teams that have those aspirations, but we all know Ohio State is that kind of good. What would be a reason, in your opinion, as one who lives in this every day, what would be a reasonable way for the College Football Playoff Committee to handle Ohio State and the number of games they may wind up playing?
Greeny, I think the key for Ohio State is who are they playing? And really, one of their 2 biggest games of the year outside of the Big Ten championship game is this weekend. So that's good. They're going to get the Penn State game in. That would be a tremendously quality win, even though Penn State lost to Indiana the other day. The Michigan game would also figure large, and obviously the Big Ten championship game. But if they miss a game against somebody in the lower division, it's not going to have that big of a deal. In a truncated season, quality of competition is going to matter, in my opinion, with the College Football Playoff Committee.
But give me a number. I mean, the SEC teams and others are going to wind up playing 9, 10 games. If a Big Ten team winds up playing 6, how's that going to work?
It will hurt. And I think on top of that, and we haven't even gotten to the Pac-12 yet, I mean, they're playing in an even more truncated season. But if you miss a game, I don't think it's going to kill your chances. But, if you have a loss, it probably will. So I think Ohio State is still in reasonably good shape. The bad news here is Wisconsin, because after last Friday night, they looked like a contender, but without their quarterback for a couple of weeks, missing this week, maybe next, that could really be a big issue for them.